Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Mermaid Rain reminds me of one of those video games from the early 80s when predominantly they were marketing towards boys. Every once in a while they throw something pink on there or a horse and say, "Look, girls, isn't this fun?" And the games were always lackluster, and they didn't really appeal to anyone because they were trying too hard. That reminds me of Mermaid Rain. They took a subpar game, threw a mermaid on it, and kind of hoped it would maybe activate something in girls where they would want to purchase the game. And I think it fails on that regard. I think the game fails about 100% on most regards. It tries to be this poker thing where you're playing cards and you're playing them and you're putting them up, and this game was just, it lacked interesting decisions. The game looks bland. The rules are a chore to get through. You can't make your rule book so difficult to get through that I don't care about playing your game. Then, if you're going to make the game look terrible, you got to make the rule book easy to get through. Or if you're going to make the rule book terrible, you got to make the game look good so I actually want to play it. And it fails on all accounts. The game's boring, doesn't really give you interesting decisions. I think you can get this better in Taj Mahal, which it borrows a lot from. I feel like the theme is just pasted on to appeal to a subset of gamers, and it doesn't accomplish anything. So for me, this game is an easy purge. It's not fun to play. I don't want to spend any more time with the game, and that's a huge burden that it has to overcome, and it doesn't. Here is Mermaid Rain. You can see it has a naked mermaid on the front with the dolphins coming up, hair in appropriate places. This isn't a great box, by the way. This box feels very flimsy, just so you know. Open it up, you're going to get a rule book. There's no insert whatsoever in there. You're going to get some cards. There's 3 different types of cards. You can see they have a picture and a very small icon. I wish that icon would have been bigger, but the pictures correspond to what the icons are, so that's pretty nice. You're going to get another set here, these little treasure tokens that are very small. There's 5 different ones, but they're very, very tiny. You're going to get these nice tiles. These are pretty thick. The only thing that really matters on them is going to be obviously the shape and the little icon. The icon, you know, could have been everywhere. It's fine. It's pretty easy to learn how to play. You're going to have a score tracker, which you can see the shells are kind of on there. It's going to go all the way across and then back down, where I kind of like it better if it goes like this, but so be it. And then you're going to have a board of the different locations. The board's actually fairly nice. It's really just hexes with pictures on it. I think this board is fine. It works great. Probably one of the better ones. These little tokens have to fit on here, so they have to be a little bit smaller. So there's a purpose to it. I actually think the components are pretty good. The box could have had an insert. The box could have been a little bit more durable, but everything else that comes in it is fairly good. Here's a rule book for Mermaid Rain. You're going to have a picture of all the components. Really ahead of its time here. For such an older game to have this is a huge plus. When you open it up, you're going to have these explanations. I wasn't really crazy about this. I was kind of like, okay, where is this going? And then setup kind of works here. What's this is a 5-player setup, and then on the back you have the setup for the other players. Here's 3, 4, and 6. Could be a little bit confusing. Or like I set this up for 5. I was like, oh, I got to reset everything up. I didn't realize it was back there. An overview of the rounds, and then you're going to see here kind of what you're doing. The poker hands that you'll have and how they kind of work. And an explanation of everything. I feel like the rulebook made the game, once you got to this part where you're starting to read how to play, I feel like it really picked up. And I probably would have put a lot of this at the back, but maybe you needed a note before you got started. But the rulebook was fairly good. So in the game is set up, you're going to have these treasure tokens put around based on number of players and setup. Some will be face up, the majority of them will be, and some will be face down. The deck of cards will be shuffled, and everybody will be dealt 7 cards that will be in their hand. On the first round, everybody will play 2 cards, whatever cards they want down, and then they can play a 3rd card if they so choose. You will also have this card that will be handed, the backs of those match. This is kind of your cheat sheet card. If you play this, so let's play you play the 2 cards, and you flip this one over for the 3rd one, this just means your hand will stop. This is what you played, and you will not play any more cards. You can continue to play cards, everybody doing it simultaneously, face down, then you flip them over, until you play a maximum of 5 cards. And then based on the cards that you play for the round, you will go to this little chart. It's just like playing poker, and you will determine. So if you had 5 of a kind, you can move your mermaid anywhere you want. If you play 2 pairs, you get 6 victory points. So that's kind of what you're doing. You're playing poker with the cards, But keep in mind, there are only 3 different kind of cards. You have the birds, you have the dolphins, and you have the turtles. So that's kind of what you're playing towards. Then you would randomly draw one of these current cards. They're called undercurrents. And based on number of players, so if you're playing, let's say, a 3-player game, one of these will be available, one of these shapes will be available. Then whoever had the highest hand, so 5 of a kind would be to 4 of a kind, for example, will get to choose one of these that they want. Let's say he chose this one. Then what you'll do is you'll place this down if you so choose, and let's say you're this person, and you'll be able to move this person based on these locations. Now how you move will be the cards left over in your hand. So this one, I have a dolphin left over in my hand. There's a dolphin on here, so then I can move there discarding this card. Then I also have a turtle, so I can move to this location and then take one of these treasure tokens, which now get put face up in front of me. If I were to take a face down one, I'm allowed to look at all face down ones there, don't show anybody else, and then place it face down in front of me to score at the end of the turn. Only I will know what's here. Now I can move as much as I want depending on how many cards I have. At the end of the round, if I have 2 or less cards in my hand, I get to keep them. If I were to have more than 2 cards in my hand, I would have to discard down to 2, because each round I'm going to draw exactly 7. So if I have 2 cards left in my hand, next round I would have 9. After playing 3 rounds, you will score the game. Every player has to pay the witch one of each treasure. For each treasure you cannot pay, you would lose 5 victory points. You have to give up each one of the treasure, each of the one of the type 5. Then you count up whoever has the most of each type. So for example, you go through each of the type of the 5. If you have the most, you get 12 points. Second gets 6, then 4, then 2, then 0. And you go through each type, and that will be how many victory points you will gain during the game. There's a nice little cheat sheet here that kind of tells you the different hands you can win in the poker. It'll tell you how many of each treasure there is, and then how you score at the end of the game, depending on how many players there are. It's a nice little cheat sheet that you will have. Whoever has the most victory points gets the legs for their mermaid, can marry the prince, and defeats the evil witch. Who should buy this game? I mean, you need to look at this or be a big fan like Taj Mahal and you really want another game like it. This might fit that bill for you, but otherwise, this is an easy pass for most gamers. Mermaid Rain was a disaster for us. Absolute purge.